Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream. Today things are looking much better, at least at market open. And I'm here to talk about a Bitcoin boom and how it's being created by the current administration and why it's great for all of crypto. So let's talk about everything that's going on today. And more. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome. Look at this. We're starting out today 96.5. In fact, this is right around where we were yesterday. Before we had that shakeout once again. Like yesterday, I know yesterday everyone got bearish. A lot of people got bearish. Live chat people got bearish. And then, you know what? A day later, we're back to the same point, right? This right here got a lot of people scared. Shook out a lot of weak lettuce hands. But again, if you truly understand, you understand. You're not going to be shaken out. And you take the opportunity to DCA some more, or you just continue to hodl. That's it. Things can shift really, really quickly. And a lot of the alts that sold off yesterday came back really, really strong now. That's how things work in the land of crypto. All right, but looking at the US market, today we're starting out in the red. We do have a few big things to look forward to. One came out already. Weekly mortgage demand dropped 6% as home buyers remain on the fence. So, okay, not a big surprise. Didn't really scare people, I guess. Didn't scare Wall Street, I should say, because obviously market didn't really tank from this. It was a little bit weak this morning already in pre-market. But I think this is in line with expectation. The economy is slowing down, right? So people buying homes and getting mortgages, they're going to decrease. But later today, around 1 o'clock, there will be Fed minutes being released, which will go over what was said in the last FOMC meeting. You know, last few events, you know, nothing really was like said behind closed doors that surprised Wall Street. This time around, maybe not. We'll see, but that comes out right around noon, 1 o'clock. So we'll see if anything comes out of there. Okay. Obviously, Powell didn't do anything this last FOMC meeting. Didn't cut. People wanted him to, but he wasn't particularly hawkish either. He was in the middle. So I guess we'll see what they were all thinking behind closed doors. All right, so that's later today. And then we got some more stuff coming out later this week. We'll see. We'll see. All right, what else is there? Well, there is another big thing that's contributing to Bitcoin boom. And that is this appointee. Howard Lutnick, who was the CEO and chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald, one of the biggest financial firms out there, self-made billionaire. He is the new Commerce Secretary. So all this talk about tariffs, you know, that's under his command. It's his job to find ways to spur up the economy, to negotiate with different nations, to increase trade, to decrease the trade deficits, to generate revenue. And you know what? This guy is very pro-crypto. Very pro-crypto. I did some research on him. Cantor Fitzgerald, I think a lot of people don't know this, since 2018, they became one of the custodians for Tether. they held US Treasuries for Tether. They held billions for Tether. So that's number one. Number two, Howard himself has gone and done interviews where he has said he himself have hundreds of millions of dollars of exposure to Bitcoin. And, you know, that could be physical Bitcoin. That could be, I don't know, futures. It could be ETFs. It could be Grayscale Trust from back in the day. This guy is very involved with crypto. And of course, Trump wants to go all in with crypto. So appointing this guy as a new Commerce Secretary makes a whole lot of sense. This guy knows money. He knows how to make money. He's going to do a lot for the country. And I think he's going to do a lot for crypto. So this is part of that Bitcoin boom that is being created in this country going forward. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. This is just one of many appointees that is pro-crypto, right? Again, we're going full circle here from all these positions that had people that were very anti-crypto to now pro-crypto. It's a major shift, really quick shift. And that's why I remain, one of the big reasons why I remain very bullish about this year, about this cycle, no matter what's happening near term, all the distractions that we've been having, all the uncertainty we've been having, it doesn't make me any less bullish, because when you put it all together, when you look at what's happening behind the scenes and how the landscape is changing, I know things are going to get better, and there will be the whole ecosystem and Bitcoin will be much stronger in the coming years than they were years past. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys are too. And it's not just Howard Lutnick. I mean, you got so many people. Vivek, right, who recently opted out of Doge. He's trying to be a Ohio governor. But he is also still very pro-Bitcoin. He's also self-billionaire. He said recently with Aiden Ross, actually, he admitted that he is a billionaire now, which is quite interesting. But he's also pushing for Bitcoin adoption in corporate treasuries. Who else is doing that? Michael Saylor. Okay, basically arguing that every corporate company in America should hold some Bitcoin. It just makes a lot of sense. You don't have to go all in like Saylor, but even just a little bit can make a big difference over the course of the next 10 years, 20 years. Some of these companies, they have been around for 100 years, 100 plus years. Imagine holding Bitcoin for 100 years going forward. What price it'll be then? I can't even imagine. Going forward 100 years, 21, 25, Bitcoin could be at $1 billion each by then. It could be even more by then. In 100 years, if the inflation rate keeps on going at 2% and we're compounding 2% every single year for 100 years, man, I don't know where Bitcoin is going to be. Outside of that, you got another state, Utah. They're getting closer and closer to approving Bitcoin or a Bitcoin reserve bill so that the state can actually put money into Bitcoin. One of the 20 plus states that are trying to push this through. You got other countries like Chechnya. Their national bank is saying Bitcoin should be studied, not feared. Obviously, they are looking into it. You know, like Argentina, if they didn't come out with Libra, if they simply embraced Bitcoin instead and said they're going to base their pesos on Bitcoin. I don't know if it's pesos. I think it's pesos or dollars. I don't know which one it is. I think it's pesos. Man, that would have put them in a much better spot. You know, I don't know why they had to do, maybe because of that guy I covered that said he, you know, bribed his sister. If it wasn't, I mean, if they didn't do that, it would have been awesome, right? Like, he should have just announced that they were embracing Bitcoin instead. Anyways. Moving forward. Okay, so there's this scenario that Bitcoin can dip down to 77,000 because there's a CME gap. So I covered this a few days ago, including yesterday, when people were very, very scared. And you know what? Almost everyone agrees. Even if that happened, the bull run would not be over. The bull run will still continue forward. And everyone here that lived through 2021 cycle will know that. Czech Republic. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I said Chechnya. Czech Republic. I said that. I said the wrong country. Anyways, you know, I'll show you why. Okay. Well, not this graph. This graph right here. Anyone that lived through 2021 will know that FTX, SBF caused a huge dip in 2021. A lot of you guys know that when we first peaked at 64,000, we went from, look at this, we went from 3,800. So people that are complaining about 93,000, 95,000 Bitcoin, they certainly didn't live through 3,800, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 Bitcoin back in 2020. Okay. We went from 3,800 Bitcoin in 2020 to 64,000. It seemed like we didn't stop. We did. We had a lot of stale moments and up and downs. But once we hit 64,000, do you know what happened? We went from 64,000 and we fell down to 28,000. Do the math on that. 64,000 to 28,000. That's more than a 50% drop. That was within months. We fell from 64,000 to 28,000. People thought the bull run was over. Okay, that was all due to FTX manipulation. And then guess what? We went from 28,000, went back to 64,000, and we made a new high of 69,000. Granted, we didn't go up anymore. A lot of people, including myself, thought we were going to hit 100,000, but that's when the Fed started saying that they're going to start increasing rates, and that's why the bull run got cut short. But that goes to show you, even with a 50% drop, the bull run was not cut short. It still came back and made a new high, right? So even if this happened, we dropped to 77K. It's certainly not a 50% drop. If we were doing a 50% drop, we would be dropping down to the 40s. And if that happened, that is a sign to go pretty much all in. You bet the farm and you go all in at that point. But if we did fall to 77K because we had to hit that CME, fill that CME gap and came back, you know what? So be it. Okay? That doesn't mean things are over. We have seen periods like that before. But in my opinion, that doesn't need to happen. The CME gap thing, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's one of those phenomenon that sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. There's other gaps that hasn't been filled. People, tend to focus on the ones that are close and think that they will fill. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But all these gaps come out. There's some on the top side that we haven't filled either. So, in my opinion, you know what? We're just in one of these accumulation stages. And we have gone through them many, many, many times. Right now, we're going through one. It seems like the one we're in is forever. That we haven't seen like this accumulation stage like this forever. Guess what? Yes, we have. Last year, we saw that. The year before that, we saw that. The year before that, we saw it. We saw it over and over and over again. But we tend to live in a moment and we forget about what has happened before. But that accumulation stage in 2024 was much longer, twice as long, almost 3 times as long as the one we're in now. But guess what happened afterwards? We went up 50%. So again, that's why you don't want to be discouraged. You don't want to be fudded out. I know that's not really a term, but I'm creating it. You don't want to be fudded out in the market, okay? Because you just don't know what's coming. And things could recover really quickly. All right, now, besides all the Bitcoin stuff, which of course, Bitcoin is the big daddy and will always lead the way, but there is one other catalyst that could be causing a boom, not a Bitcoin boom, but a crypto boom, and that is this. President Trump tweeted about Ripple, not on Twitter. I don't know. It's a habit. That's why I'm saying tweeted. But he posted on Truth Social about XRP and Ripple. Right? That's why I changed my thumbnail. So we know that Ripple is based in the U.S. They're making big moves in the U.S. Okay? They want to be a big part of the administration. They are working with the administration, talking about different kind of things. And they do have a new shiny stablecoin that they want to promote, right? And that's a big part of what the new administration wants to do is nurture and regulate stablecoins, because there's not going to be a CBDC, right? So right now, Tether is kind of facing scrutiny from a lot of countries because they don't really comply with a lot of regulations. So then what's left is Circle, which is still a big powerhouse with USDC. And now you have Ripple with RLUSD. So this is a pretty big endorsement, right? Coming from Trump on Truth Social. So that could be big. I don't know what else is going to come from it. But we know that the SEC appeal lawsuit could be dismissed any day now. If so, that could be a big thing. That's the final hurdle. XRP has been extremely strong regardless recently. Even with all the volatility, still today it's back to 260s. And right around the corner, we could get that ETF. And speculated that it could get 800 million of inflow in just the first week. It could be even more than that. It could be like 800 million the first day. And whales are certainly loading up. Here's an example of one from yesterday. While the turbulence was happening, you have some whale that purchased 20 million XRP, roughly $50 million from Gemini, and transferred to their wallet, right? Again, this is how it's supposed to be done. When there's panic, when there's fear and blood in the streets, you're supposed to be picking up, okay? That's what the whales do. They see opportunity, they seize it. They don't fall for the FUD, and they don't sell into the panic. Instead, they do the opposite. Doesn't mean that they have a magic 8-ball. Doesn't mean that, hey, XRP is just going to go to the moon from now on. Maybe XRP does go lower. But at least they didn't fall for a FUD, and panic sell, right? Now, outside of XRP, what is there? A lot of Sol FUD also, right? A lot of Sol FUD around all the meme shenanigans. And I covered Dave Portnoy's shenanigan yesterday. I don't know if there's been an update. I haven't double checked, but apparently he came out with a meme and then rugged his own followers, and then he claimed that he said he never was going to sell, and then a big controversy also. So recently there's just a lot of like meme nonsense. But you know what? Sol Strategies, which is following in Michael Saylor's footsteps, but they're just doing it with Sol. They decided to do the same thing. They've added more Sol while Sol is down. That's how you're supposed to do it. With all the FUD, you load up while it's cheap. You don't sell while there's panic. And here's something that's interesting, created by this guy named Marty. It says 2025 Sol Suppression Roadmap. Recently, it came out that Binance sold a lot of their assets, including Solana. It's interesting that after a Trump token came out, Solana made a new high, pumped up almost to 300. And that was when exactly the point Binance started selling their Sol. And then by the time they got done and they dumped their entire Sol bag, and it wasn't just Sol too. They dumped their ETH bag, they dumped basically all their Bitcoin bag, they dumped all their assets. So it's not just Sol, but if you coordinate it, it just so happens that's when everything got a little bit wonky, a little bit weaker, and when things stopped moving, when Binance was selling all their stuff. So, right now with Libra and with whatever's going on with Dave Portnoy's coin, whatever, causing a lot of FUD, right? But Solana have seen FUD before. With FTX, saw a lot of FUD. Dropped all the way down to $8. From 270, dropped down to $8. Everyone thought it was going to die until it didn't. People picked up around $8, $10, and then now it came back. Okay, so I've seen some FUD before. And just like, oops, this is for XRP, but just like XRP, there is also a pending ETF for Solana, which is also around the corner. So that could definitely help boost it up as well. Lastly, this is breaking news. This just came out like an hour ago. Binance.us, not Binance.com, Binance US, the one that's in the US, they are resuming fiat deposits and withdrawals. First time since 2023. So they stopped it when, again, the US was very anti-crypto. FDIC was telling all the banks to stop doing business with the exchanges. And that was around the time where Binance.us said that they lost their license or whatever. They couldn't find a bank to deal with. And they closed down fiat transactions. And now they're bringing it back. So that's very good. One more exchange. Although Binance.us, their liquidity is just so much lower than like Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini or anyone else. But, they've been around for a long time. So it's good to see that things are changing, okay? The FDIC is no longer pressuring banks not to work with crypto exchanges. That's good. Good overall. Let's see. U.S. market still kind of weak. Waiting for that Fed minutes report. Robinhood's up. Strike is up. I'm telling you guys, okay? People are arguing with me about this. There's no need to argue. Strike has all the momentum. I've been saying this. Strike is too appealing. And it's making strategy stock very stagnant. Strategy went down yesterday, or MicroStrategy. Guess what? Strike went up. A lot of people are arguing, well, you don't understand how this works. It's a preferred stock, and you're supposed to convert it and this and that. I get that. But that doesn't mean that you can't sell Strike. You can buy it and sell it, and people are recognizing that Strike gives you that dividend, and even though that dividend can change based on the price increase, it's still more attractive buy at this point. Yeah, Strike is just, it just keeps on going up while strategy stock just not moving at all. Anyways, let's do some Q&A. $400 million. Red Modola. I think that's what they say. $400 million transferred from Tether to Binance 2 minutes ago. That's pretty big. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. All right. Good morning, everyone. Got a good crowd this morning. Unfortunately, Bitcoin did not hold its gains, kind of like yesterday morning. Opened up in the green, 96.7, just like yesterday. Wall Street opened, and it started going down. Let's hope we don't have the same repeat as yesterday, where Wall Street just kept selling and selling and selling and selling, and then after it closed, boom, it started coming back up. Let's hope today is not a repeat of yesterday. And yesterday just made no sense. There was no reason for that, but Wall Street is very, very, very reactionary. Let's see. FTX money selling to the market. No, they already done it. They have all the money in stables, and they're going to give it out. Yesterday, they gave out $1.2 billion to people that were owed under $50,000. In the next 2 months, they'll be handing out $12 billion in stables to people that are owed more than $50,000. Game Shark. First of all, don't at me. You know that. And second of all, they said today that they're giving it out. So just wait for it. Someone's asking, is this George's job, live stream and talk about crypto every day? No, this is just my hobby. This is just my hobby. I don't need to come and talk about crypto every day, but I enjoy doing so. And I enjoy talking to lively crowds, unless the lively crowd turns bearish, and then I get bearish. Where can you buy Strike? On Charles Schwab. I trade stocks on Charles Schwab. I don't use Robinhood. I've been told you can't find it on Robinhood, but you can find it on Charles Schwab because I actually bought some yesterday. So I know 100% fact that you can buy on a Charles Schwab. I don't know about if there's any other brokerages in the US I think they all got bought by Schwab. TD Ameritrade or whatever that was left, they all got bought. VBX, I appreciate that. Thank you. Do you think ADA can be used by Doge and other governments? I think so. Rumors very early on last year were that both Cardano and Hedera, they're being talked to by the government in regards to some new system for voting and IDs. I don't know where that went. I actually don't know where those discussions went. But I know Charles Hoskinson has been to SpaceX, has been talking to Elon. So there's something. I don't know if it's going to equate to anything, but there are definitely talks. Crypto Milk says, so painful to hold Bitcoin miners. This is why when people ask me, do you still mine? I don't. I think it's just better to use the money you would spend on mining machines on Bitcoin itself. Because by the time payback happens, the money you put in Bitcoin gone up a lot already. So that's why I don't get it. Unless you're a big miner, you already run a huge mining farm or you rent it out and you're making income that way. To just have, a few machines here or there doesn't make a lot of sense. Jim says, come on, George, even when you're bearish, you're teddy bearish. I just hold it in, man. I have to keep it together. I can't be panicking on a live stream in front of thousands. The only time, I'll be honest, I don't really panic at all over price movement. The only time I get really discouraged is when my leverage plays either get liquidated or they're really deep in the red, and I get discouraged because of that. And that's the only thing that gets me discouraged. If I wasn't playing with leverage, I would be the most carefree person in the world. And with that said, I don't know why I still do it. I still do, and sometimes I get things right. Most of the time, I get things wrong. But that's the only thing that really discourages me because of these trades. And if I wasn't trading, I would not care one bit about the price action because, again, deep down, I know this is nothing. These distractions are just that. We are definitely going much higher. There's no way anyone that have been paying attention to what I've been saying could think otherwise. And especially someone that's been through a cycle or two, no way they can't think otherwise, right? This is just a small distraction. Bitcoin at 95.7 is not a level to be panicking at. If we fell down to 40,000, we fell down to 45,000, 50,000, kind of like what we did in 2021 when we fell down to 28,000 after hitting 64,000, I could say yes. I can agree then maybe it's warranted to be panicking. But at 95,000 Bitcoin, this is what we dreamed of for years. In 2017, in 2021, we only dreamed about 100,000 Bitcoin. It was like fantasy world. And now we're at like 96,000, 98,000 Bitcoin, and people are depressed about it. When you put things in perspective, I mean, you just can't be bearish. Psycho Girl. I don't think Buffett ever said that, but it's a good quote nevertheless. Southern Stacker says, I think it's more boredom than depression. I don't know, man. Yesterday morning, a lot of very, very depressed people in here. They got me depressed at night too. I actually wanted to shorten Q&A because of it. A lot of depressed people. You got to party in Montreal sometime. What's in Montreal? Mac Lex, you know what? It's tough. You know, I guess my vibe is primarily from the vibe of the Q&A. I mean, from the people asking questions. So if everyone's bearish in there, you know, it's like it's hard to keep a positive vibe. Today, people are feeling much better. Yesterday, people were so bearish. But right now, unfortunately, though, it does seem like Wall Street is mimicking what happened yesterday. It's almost the same pattern. This is what happened when US market opened yesterday. I'm hoping we don't repeat the same thing because right now it's looking like we're like mimicking it exactly. I don't know what's going on with Wall Street. Like, there are someone or individuals that are just like slow selling, slow selling, slow selling. And you know what? They're going to end up buying it back at a higher price. It's just I don't know why they feel compelled they have to do so right now. The Fed minutes, I think it's like 1 p.m. Eastern, something like that. So, not too much longer. Guys are like women when it comes to finances, they overreact. Could tariffs have anything to do with it? I mean, we've been talking about tariffs for a long, long time. And yes, of course, there's tariff news every day, right? Here's another one suggesting 25 tariffs on autos, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors. But we don't know. They're not solidified. We don't know the exact details of them. These are kind of like more negotiating tactics at this point. Country ventures. It's possible because of the OTC market, over-the-counter market. So you can make large buys, like ETFs. If they need to buy like 100 million or 500 million, they call up like Coinbase or someone. Okay, and they say, we need to buy 500 million worth of Bitcoin. And they're like, okay, here's the price, transfer the money, we'll transfer you to Bitcoin. They do that off the books. They don't they don't log into Coinbase and make a $500 million, market buy. If they did that, it would affect the price. But they don't want to affect the price. They want to buy it at a stable price so that they can buy more. That's why you have all these hundreds of millions or billions that are being bought, and it doesn't move the price at all. However, the OTC market, there's only so much Bitcoin that could be sold. Eventually, it's going to dry out. I already theorized this. Ever since ETFs came out last year, I theorized that one day that the OTC market will dry up and the ETFs, I don't know where they go get their Bitcoin from. They're going to either have to shut down their funds or they're going to have to buy spot, because at some point in time, there's going to be so much demand that they won't be able to source all the Bitcoin in the OTC market. And when that day comes, that's when Bitcoin will start skyrocketing to the moon. Because every single day when the market closes, they need to settle. They need to buy $500 million of the Bitcoin. And Coinbase says, no, we don't have $500 million to sell you. Then where is it going to come from? They have to log into different exchanges to buy it then. Or they have to buy out miners just to get their supply. I don't know how they're going to handle it, but that day will be coming. It's going to be coming. I just don't know when. It could be sometime this year. Crypto Moose, do you think Lido and Curve are good adds to portfolios? I don't have anything against them. I'm not a big fan of Curve. If you research Curve, like the founder over leveraged multiple times and he had to be bailed out by like Justin Sun and others. Otherwise, he took out a loan on his own Curve tokens. And there were points where Curve went down so much, he was going to get liquidated. So because of that, I was not a fan of that. You could go look up the details, exact details, but a couple times he almost got liquidated. Lido, I think Lido's good. They support Ethereum and Solana for liquid staking. I like that project. See? Look at this. Strike is still in the green. MicroStrategy in the red. It just seems like Strike never goes down. It's been going up forever. Since the debut, it just keeps going up and up and up, while MicroStrategy keeps going down. Look at that. Every single day since it's opened has been going up. You don't see this going down. As if like it almost behaves like you can't sell it. But you can, unless I'm wrong about it. I bought it yesterday. I bought a little bit of it. So today I'll try to sell one share just to make sure I'm not wrong, that you could actually sell this. But if you can buy and sell this at any time, you don't have to wait to convert it to MicroStrategy shares. I don't get what they're doing to make this not drop. Brian Roser. Hey Jordan, I'm getting into the base ecosystem and its dexes lately. Alien Base is solid. Check it out. It does a lot. It's actually a hidden gem. People have told me that. You tell me why you think it's a hidden gem. People have told me the same thing about Aerodrome. I'm not a fan of Aerodrome. I tried to use it and I couldn't use it. Like it did not work for me. And I still don't get it because all base stuff is on Uniswap. So I guess you have to tell me why you think Alien Base is solid. I am Vic. It works differently in theory, but in practice, for a person, for an investor, you buy it and you sell it. You buy low and you sell high. So from that perspective, it works exactly the same way, except one keeps going up and one is not moving. So I haven't seen Strike go down yet. It's so weird that something has debuted and it has not gone down yet. Every other IPO that's ever come out, usually when it on opening day it goes up and then it goes down, the days afterwards because it's overhyped. It's the only one I've seen that just keeps going up every day. I mean, granted, it's slow ups. It's like 1%, 0.5%. It's just like little ups, but it still just keeps going up. The good thing is Bitcoin is not repeating what it did yesterday. It's not just keep going down, so that's good. Strike is not on Robinhood. It's only on Charles Schwab, as far as I know. All right, guys. So, a Bitcoin boom or a crypto boom is being created in the US. Okay, so another reason why, there are actually many reasons why you need to stay in the game. Do not be distracted by the FUD and continue the course because things are going to get a lot better, guys. Don't be FUDded out of the market. Stay strong, stay focused. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.